Hi, I'm Dawn Jones with the City of Stillwater. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast. Today's subject, waste management. My co-host today, as always, our Deputy City Manager, Melissa Reams, Director of Waste Management, Matt Faulkner, and our producer, Michelle Charles. Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
So, Matt, we are so glad that you could join us today. And we know we are right in the middle of holiday season, and waste management definitely, as always, plays an important role in our community, and even more so during this time. So tell us a little bit about our community, our employees, the services, all of the things.
Absolutely. So during this time of the year, the holidays, for every waste company, it's a very challenging time. But specifically for Stillwater, we usually will deal with a lot of your normal holiday trash from the Thanksgiving holiday, but it's the Christmas holiday that can usually be tricky for us specifically, mostly because of the recycling. So with our recycling, wrapping paper, which everybody would think would go in the recycling bin, does not. So,
It doesn't?
It does
it's
not.
Not clean paper?
Well, it's got some like wax material. They just don't
true.
like it. So
True.
That's a big challenge we struggle with. Plus, just working the holidays.
Yeah.
Our guys, it's a struggle. They would like to be home, but we also provide such a great service that they're pretty happy with doing it. So
Well, and also the trees,
Yeah.
and you guys provide that service too.
we will do the trees. We usually have a collection point where people will take them to our collection center to
Love
drop
that.
off the trees. They can chop them up, bundle them up, and we'll take them that way. But it's easier for most people just to load them up, take them to the collection center.
I thought you were talking about yard waste and not Christmas trees, but you're talking about
No.
Yeah.
Christmas trees,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yes, the blue bags, right?
Yeah,
the
well,
Christmas tree.
the Christmas trees, like it's probably a little bit more convenient. It's because it's free for the
Yeah.
customer just to either to chop them up and bundle them, or they can put them in a regular trash can. We'll pick them up on our normally collected yard waste. We see a lot of that after the holiday, of course.
Yeah.
So in the month of January, our collections, we'll have a huge pile of Christmas trees out there. But that's good. We're able to dispose of them correctly, and
That's good. So in the month of December, that ends a semester for OSU. Do you see the volume of move out waste that you see during the month of May when students move out?
it's not as intense, but I do think that's probably one of the things that makes our community a little bit different. So not only are we dealing with the
Right.
holiday struggle that everybody is, we also have a move-in season
Yep.
or move-out season. A lot of the leases, they either begin or end in December. And so you do have a little bit of a volume for like bulk collection or cart exchanges for new customers, things like that. So there's a little bit of a time. It's usually the middle of December.
And I
You see
have
that?
seen those neighborhood dumpsters
Mm-hmm.
where
Oh,
our
full.
college kiddos live, and oh my goodness, yeah,
Yeah, that
stuffed full.
That is that can be a big time deal. There are occasions, I'd say in the month of May it's a little bit, but even December we'll be dumping those things twice a day. So.
Yeah.
So can they come to the collection center, the convenience collection center on South Perkins? If they've got old electronics and things, will you take that at the collection center?
Oh, absolutely, and we do encourage that. So if we have a lot of people move out, electronics is a big thing. We encourage them to bring it to our collection center. They can drop that off. It's about $25 for a monitor, if you will. Smaller electronics have a smaller price. So if you're talking about like a coffee maker, it's $5.
Okay.
Right.
But they can bring more than that. You can bring in your old furniture. You can bring in lots
Mattresses.
of different
What about
especially.
mattresses?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
mattress. That's definitely the way to go. Is bring
They're
it to our
so
collection center.
gross.
It is.
There is
are.
nothing more disgusting than driving down the street
Oh, yeah.
and seeing a mattress on the
And
curb.
then
Oh,
it
my God.
rains and
Yes.
they get
Oh yeah.
soggy
so
and
awful.
nasty and
You have not felt weight in your life until you get to a king size mattress that is soaking wet.
Ew.
And it's so
I
heavy.
can't.
Yuck. No, I actually have something worse. I lived out in the country outside of town, and seeing a soaking wet mattress in the ditch
yes.
for a
cannot.
month
Nope.
is not good.
No thanks. Hard
Yeah.
pass.
Oh no.
But you guys just handle so many different things, from the typical waste collection to the yard waste collection and glass, and then the convenience collection center. And the list goes on and on and on. And you guys do so many of these things for our community. And I think that probably the general public is unaware of all of the different things that you all do take care of.
It's a pretty big undertaking. We don't. I know if nobody sees it. We don't think about it sometimes, even because it's so much. I mean, on a weekly basis, on a residential trash collection, we'll pick up over 100 tons of trash just on a 1 week basis. We pick up over 20 tons of recycling a week, and that's just residentially. You put the
Just residential, 20 tons
Of
of recycling a week.
That's correct. And then on our yard waste isn't as much because it's lighter, but we still
Yeah.
have the bulk of that material. So we're picking up probably about 5 tons of yard waste a week. And then our glass recycling is close to the same. So,
Well, and we're knocking on the door of potential bad weather season. So
Yes.
you're going to deal with possibly ice and snow and below freezing. Oh, those wind chills just cut you to the bone.
Right. And last year we had we had 1 week in particular.
oh, yeah.
And they the department, they continued to pick up as best they could given the condition of the streets. You know, it's not any different than driving a school bus. You have to
That's
get
right.
out there and make sure that if the truck goes down the street, if it has to back up, it can come back up or it can get around.
That's a good point.
And so give a little grace, guys. You know,
for sure.
yes, we want to give you the best service we can, but our ultimate concern is for the safety of our employees. And
That's
so they're out there, just as you pointed out, in the wind and the cold and the snow.
It's miserable.
And, you know, if they can't get to you today, more than likely they're going to get to you before the end of the week. And we keep our website updated so that
Absolutely.
everybody knows what we're doing.
And I do remember exactly what you're talking about because we kept sharing those alerts on our
Mm-hmm.
social media. So if you're not following the City of Stillwater Facebook page, please do so if you have Facebook. We definitely post those alerts on there as soon as they are developed.
Mm-hmm.
We post them there, and we, of course, send it out through our alert process and website and Instagram and Twitter. But definitely, if you have a Facebook page, City of Stillwater Facebook for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I mean, one of the things that happens when we have the ice or the snow is that the little roads in the neighborhoods clear off last.
Yeah.
They do.
They don't get a lot of traffic, and,
right.
and a lot of times people wouldn't realize maybe maybe they have a lot of trees on their street, they don't get a lot of sun, and they didn't realize why their trash wasn't getting picked up. But I mean, honestly, if their car's parked on the street and you've got ice and snow everywhere, do you really want a big truck driving down your street, maybe sliding around?
Ding, ding,
You
ding.
probably don't.
Exactly.
Oh, I will tell you, this conversation we're having about snow and ice keeps me up at night. This is the,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I bet
this,
so.
This is our biggest concern. So
Yeah.
a typical snow day consists of myself or another member of our team waking up at like 3 a.m. and talking to Rob Hill,
Rob Hill,
of all
yeah.
people,
Yep.
Sure.
to see if we can get the volume I spoke of earlier. We are pretty committed to getting that, and we know that if we miss a day, it's going to be hectic.
Yeah.
So we try, but we do obviously are worried about the safety of our people, and the trash trucks handle so much different in what a lot of people would consider an element. So if we
Right.
have 6 inches of snow, oh, we're fine. We can go all day. A small, very thin sheet of ice, you might as well be driving. Might be rollerblading.
But man, it just
Oh,
really gets
wow.
back to what Melissa said and the safety of our employees, and then also what Michelle added,
Oh,
the
yeah.
safety
Yeah.
of our residents.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
I
it's,
mean-
it's going to be a very dangerous time. Very dangerous.
Absolutely. I love that, though. And he is absolutely correct. Rob Hill and his team, they are phenomenal. We definitely rely on them to help us with emergency management and with those weather alerts and information. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now, I would say, though, that in terms from a recruiting perspective,
Yes.
okay, let's talk about how different it is than it used to be. Because
Oh,
my
yeah.
father-in-law retired as a driver with Waste Management.
Oh.
And this is back in the day when you had the guys hanging off the back of the truck,
I
picking the
remember
cans up
that.
and dumping them, carrying
Yes.
them sometimes from the house.
And I don't know if I should say I'm fortunate enough to have lived that life. When I first started working at the City of Stillwater, it's been over 15 years ago, that's how I started. We had a driver, and we were all hanging off the back and just picking up trash. And we still collected almost the same volume we do now.
Oh,
It's just we
wow.
were all doing it by hand.
Yeah.
So it would be nothing for you personally to be on the back of a truck and have touched 10 tons of trash that day.
What a beautiful scene you
Yeah,
have just created.
And it was very hot and very cold. There was a lot to it, and there was a lot of injuries.
What are you talking about? It doesn't get very hot in July and August here in Oklahoma.
Oh, it was unbearable. and the knee, ankle, back end,
Oh,
shoulders,
man.
and
Can't even
it was
imagine.
crazy. But now we do it a little bit differently. Fortunately, our most manual activity we have would be our commercial and our yard waste crews, and it's not near to that extent as it used to be. And you have a teammate helping you out, and the truck does a lot of the work. On our residential side, the truck does all of the work. You're able to just pull up right to the can and you pick it up, and it allows that one person to actually service more containers than we could prior, because you had to worry about stress of your body and the elements.
But you guys really are a very well-oiled machine. I mean, not to be punny or anything, but you really are. Like, I followed behind a couple of trucks, working with them to get video and for an alert that we were working on.
Yeah.
And just watching the whole process, I was just amazed with how fast and efficient they are.
Efficiency is probably the biggest key for us to keeping our service good. And when I say good, that's a pretty broad spectrum. It's not just only providing quality service to customers; it's keeping our rates effective. Everything we can do.
So Matt, I know there are rules behind that you all live by, and one of them is if the lid is open, you may not pick that can up.
That's
right?
correct.
Can you kind of explain the philosophy behind that?
So-
Because to us, it just feels
Right.
like
We're not getting all the trash.
Right,
No,
right.
no, I get that. That's a conversation I've had. It's really more for the cleanliness of the town.
Yeah.
So when the way the residential automated truck grabs the cart, if the lid is open, it will shake whatever is out of the top of it. And we live in Oklahoma where the wind blows occasionally.
Right.
And so that trash will be gone. And even if the guy jumped out of the truck as fast as he could, there's a lot of times you're not going to catch it. So having that too much trash in your cart, that can be a problem. Having your carts too close together is the same thing, because you have a hydraulic operated arm that's not very forgiving. And if you squeeze that little arm into the little position, you grab it and you dump it. Oh, right, that's great. You don't dump anything over. Everything's great. But there are going to be times where you open that thing up and the recycling cart now is tipped over. You can't have bagged recycling, and now
recycling is
is
Well,
everywhere.
and we did message it wasn't that long ago, just a handful of months ago, regarding the loose trash to make sure that it was bagged, because once it is loose in the neighborhood, that
it's
is
everywhere.
and it's up to them to pick it up.
And that is one of probably our biggest complications, and it's industry standard. We bag our trash, but the recycling stays loose.
Yeah.
So it can be a little confusing, and that's why it's important for us to be out there. We have a gentleman who goes out and he leaves information on people's carts, and
Right.
that's his whole job, is to make sure we educate the public about everything that we have.
Yeah.
You guys go above and beyond as far as letting everyone know and communicating, and the recent waste management schedule calendar pickup that you developed. Mr. Faulkner was wonderful, and we had it in the news press a couple of times. It's on our website, and it can be downloaded, and I just think that's another useful tool.
That'll be helpful, especially on the holidays. We do have, since we're back on that topic, we have a lot of people that will call. Are you picking up that today? And we're obviously, yes, we are. We're happy to be there, and that even has that on there. So you have yard waste schedules,
Yeah.
your glass collection schedule, and when your holidays are.
And that's really unique to Stillwater that you all pick up on the holidays. I can remember the first Thanksgiving that Chris and I were here in town, and I was just floored. I think I was a Thursday customer that you picked up. I just couldn't believe it. Yep. Who else does that? But we do.
Yeah, we do.
Because we love our citizens, and we've heard you that this is
Yeah.
great for you. It's great
Absolutely.
for the guys. And the guys actually voted this year whether they wanted to work Thanksgiving and Christmas. And they voted yes, they would rather do that than try to play catch up on a weekend.
Yeah.
I love that. But it's all about a servant's heart, too. And, and I think, I hope that our community members will remember that when it's hot or cold or all of the days in between.
Or if
and
we don't pick your trash up, and we
Right.
leave you a little sticker as to why we
Yes.
didn't.
Yep.
have some grace and understanding and
Yeah.
empathy. And for the most part, I absolutely believe our community does. We just appreciate the service that you guys provide for all of us. Michelle, did you have something you were going to share with us?
Oh, well, no, what I was just going to bring up is that the reason the recycling can't be bagged is because those thin sheets of plastic actually clog up the machines where
That's
those
correct.
things
Yeah,
are
I
sorted.
hadn't
that's
thought
right.
about that.
Yeah.
The
That's right.
conveyor belts.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff.
conveyor belt at the
sorting.
material recovery facility.
That's a good point to add, so
Yeah.
people know there is a reason.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just
absolutely
us being
right.
It can
Exactly.
be so bad. It can be so bad. A processor could be shut down for hours.
Oh,
and
It's
that's
just-
money lost.
Absolutely.
yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Wow, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thanks,
joining
Matt.
us today.
Thank you for having me.
And there a wealth of information is available at stillwater.org. If you would like more information on waste management, if you need to change your service, if you need service information, and what all our guys and gals provide over there. But thank you for tuning in to our podcast today, and don't forget to subscribe. Together, we are investing in municipal excellence.